Hello again and welcome to the second of the exam videos that we're looking at, and don't forget we're looking at AQA Unit 1 in this short series, and we'll come on to the others at some stage later. I just thought that I would do a very short video which just talked about the 3 documents I asked you to download at the end of the last video. And we're talking about passing Unit 1 exams, so we're only dealing with Unit 1, and this video is about the key documents. And remember, I will stress this is only AQA. We will deal with OCR at a later date. So I asked you to look at 3 key documents, and I believe that all 3 of these are essential when you are doing your exam revision. You need to have copies of each as you start to work through your revision or your exam preparation process. So whenever you start to look at a single exam paper, you also need to download the 2 other documents at the same time. So we see here, this is the exam paper. All right, and the exam paper is normally about 4 or 5 pages long. It's quite a short document, and I've just got 2 pages here to demonstrate or just to show you what it looks like. The next thing is the mark scheme, and you can see this is the mark scheme, it's mentioned here, and the mark scheme is specifically designed to help the examiner in terms of what they should be looking for when they are marking your papers. And the only thing that you need to do is to make sure that this is from the June 2012 series of exams, and this is the May 2012 exam paper. So just make sure that your mark scheme, you've got the right one to match the exam. And the third document is the one that is the report on the examination. And what essentially this is when all of the exam papers have been marked, all of the markers will write a report to the chief examiner. And the chief examiner will then look at what were the things that were done well across every single student and what were the things that were consistently missed. So for us as teachers, it helps us to think about what the examiner wants, what the chief examiner wants. And we'll look at the exam report in full at a later video. But it can be absolutely vital for you as a student to know precisely what it is that the examiner is looking for in a particular question. It will help you to think about what cases they're looking for, what keywords they're looking for, and what things people are frequently missing. For us as teachers, it helps us to see the gaps in what we're teaching and what we're not teaching. But you need all of these 3 documents together. You can see again, it's the June 2012 one. We know it's the right specification. We're looking at Unit 1, Lawmaking in the Legal System, Lawmaking in the Legal System, Lawmaking in the Legal System. All of these 3 documents together go hand in hand. They all relate to one another. I am going to focus in this series. I'm not going to do every single question for you. That would just be silly and it would take far too long. So I am going to focus on the June 20 or the May 2012, but the June 2012 series of exams. I'm going to look at Section A, the lawmaking part, and I'm going to concentrate on delegated legislation. So you can see here the exam paper. This is just page 2 of the exam paper. And page 2 of the exam paper, and I am going to cover in great depth the exam paper and what it looks like and every page of it and how it works in the next video. But in this instance you can see that there's Section A, there's a question on parliamentary lawmaking, and there's a question on delegated legislation. In fact, there are 3 questions, 4, 5 and 6. I am going to concentrate and focus on delegated legislation. Okay? So that's why I've got that page up, and in the next video or in the videos when I help you how to answer these questions, we're going to be looking at delegated legislation. So question 4 here, if you look, I've got the mark scheme. So the question 4 in the mark scheme tells us exactly what the potential content should be. So when you're looking at these questions, you can see that you've got the question itself on the question paper. You've got the mark scheme, and that's exactly how the examiner is told that they should be marking it. What should they be looking for in your answer? And then thirdly, so this is these two go together in terms of the exam, but this one is put together after the exam. And as you can see here, it's the full examiner's report on how question 4 was answered overall. So you should be able to start to see that these three documents together link question 4. This is the question, this is the answer and what they should be expecting, and this is the overall view of how well it was answered, what was done well and what was missed. So these three papers are vital, and we're going to cover each one of them in additional videos.